We're doing this in his memory. And one of the things that he taught us is that the most important things that we do are the things that we do together. And that some of the hardest things that we face are things that we can't face alone.
I've had so many family members and friends fight this battle. Sadly, many of them didn't make it, including my own brother. And I just think that we can't stop fighting until this doesn't happen anymore. You'll meet lifelong friends. You will feel such a sense of accomplishment.
For everybody fighting cancer, the advancements that has been made in cancer is why I'm here today.
Join us in 2021.
Welcome everybody to the Q&A for the Weekend to Conquer Cancer. My name's Steve Merker. I'm the events guy at the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. The formal title is Vice President of Corporate and Community Partnerships, but I like to be called the Chief Walk Officer. I have my team here tonight, Melissa, Dave, Susie, Bass. We're gonna be here to answer all your questions on our Weekend to Conquer Cancer program this year, which is about 1 month away. The fundraising is coming in fast and furious. It's so exciting to see how people are engaged in the Weekend to Conquer Cancer and in our mission to conquer cancer in our lifetime. We also have a very special guest joining us tonight, the brand Shiny New, President and CEO of the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, Mio Yamashita. So Mio has held various leadership roles in healthcare, banking, technology, most recently as Director of Strategy and Operations at the U of T Schwartz Reisman Institute for Technology and Society. Mio has a unique ability to scale organizations, dream big, and put plans into action, qualities that will be vital as the foundation works to expand its reach. And I absolutely know Mio will be walking with us in next month. So Mio, over to you.
Thanks so much, Steve. Weekenders, it is absolutely wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time this evening to join in our call. And when I think about the power to scale and grow something amazing in support of conquering cancer, it's all of you. And Steve, I also have to thank you. It's been a long time since I've been called shiny and new, but I really appreciate the compliment. Weekenders, I am really delighted to be able to connect with you today. We all know how important and how personal this cause is. 1 in 2 Canadians hear the words, "You have cancer." Every day, 228 Canadians die from cancer. But thanks to your participation and your support, we are rapidly changing those statistics. In fact, there's been more done in cancer research in the past 10 years than in the previous 50. And at the Princess Margaret, we're working on things like early detection in very simple, non-invasive ways. We're talking about not biopsies anymore, but simple blood tests to detect cancer long before people have symptoms. We're envisioning a world where cancer does not equal chemotherapy. And we're doing amazing work in therapeutics and incredible diagnostics and in drug therapy. So thank you to all of you for making that possible. And thank you for your support for the weekend. I really look forward to walking with you. Thank you again. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Mio. And folks, I have to tell you, Mio's been here for 30 days and her impact is already palpable at the foundation. She brings, I think, some tenacity, some focus, the ability to grow all of our programs so that we can increase our support to the Cancer Center. But, and then on the soft side, she's the most, I'm gonna use a word lovely. I'm sorry, Mio, but I don't know if I've ever described a CEO as lovely, but you're a pleasure to work with. I'm really excited about having you lead our walk and all of our other events here at the foundation. So welcome aboard. And folks, you will have a chance to meet Mio on the weekend itself, because I'm sure she will be out and about. She's made it clear to me that she wants to meet as many people as possible, and personally thank you all for walking and taking on our mission. So this is it's going to be the 19th anniversary of the Weekend to Conquer Cancer. And then for the Journey to Conquer Cancer participants of our merged event, this is going to be the 9th anniversary of that event. So the two events combined next year will be going to its 20 and 10 anniversary. So I'm calling it the 30th anniversary next year. And we need you to come back for our 30th anniversary next year. We've raised well over $200 million to date. So thanks to all the returning walkers and all the brand new walkers who are supporting our cause. We had, I'm just going to go off the script for 1 second here today. We had a presentation earlier this afternoon for one of our larger teams, and we had Dr. Gary Roden, who's a multi-year walker. He's the head of our psychosocial oncology program. And we were celebrating how much money that this team has raised. But what it's really about? It's about what that money empowers our scientists to do, and what it empowers Dr. Gary Roden to do in his psychosocial oncology program. And then it helps our immune therapy people and our chemotherapy people and our surgical oncologists and all these people. It helps with our research programs. It doesn't just benefit people here in Toronto, but it benefits people across the country and around the world, because our research is like open source code, and everyone benefits from that. The weekend event, as you know, is September 10th to 12th. And we're going to share some fun facts with you. But before we do that, I wanted to introduce our also brand shiny new Weekend to Conquer Cancer director. So Melissa Stedman has joined us from We Charity, where she spent 4 years with that group. And then prior to that, 17 years at RBC in marketing and branding and communications. And Melissa's been here, well, she can tell you how long she's been here, but a wonderful addition to our Weekend to Conquer Cancer team. So I want to just quickly throw it over to you, Mel, and to say hello to all of our great supporters.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. I am so excited. This is my first ever Weekend to Conquer Cancer, and I can't even tell you, I'm counting down to the event as much as I've been counting up to the days that I've been with the team here at Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. I think I'm on week 10 now, but it feels like I've always been here. The team here has been phenomenal. The participants, individuals, corporate teams, community teams, etc., have just been incredible, very welcoming, and have made me feel like I've been a part of this event before. So while it is my first event coming up on September 10th, 11th, and 12th, I'm hoping that it's going to be the first of many to come, for sure.
Awesome, Mel. Well, you are definitely part of this family, and the larger family for the Weekend to Conquer Cancer is at 2,600, over 2,600 registered so far, and climbing. In fact, I think we had, Dave told me this morning, we had one of our best registration days yet today. And so, registration is open, and we still need more people to join our cause to help conquer cancer in our lifetime. We're approaching $2 million in fundraising, and we want to set a new virtual record for the Weekend to Conquer Cancer. So keep up the great work on the fundraising. I mentioned earlier about how the research that our researchers do doesn't, just benefit the folks here in Toronto. It benefits all Canadians and people around the world. And to that, I wanted to share with you that we have 8 provinces represented. So we have participation in BC, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, of course, Ontario, all over the place, Quebec, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. I'm trying to look at the provinces we're missing, and we got to make a call out to those provinces and get them to represent. And even our friends down south, we have 8 states represented: Michigan, New York, North Carolina, Florida, believe it or not, Minnesota, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Washington. I'm going to share a fun fact about now thinking about the United States. Our clinical trials program here at Princess Margaret actually receives money from the National Institute of Health in the US. So we're getting US dollars coming in to support our clinical trials program. So in fact, Donald Trump himself was signing the checks coming up here to support our research program, because our research is so robust. And that's a fun fact you can take away and share with your donors. We also have 5 countries represented, of course, all over Canada, the US, Ireland, Portugal, and Australia. With our event being virtual this year, there's no borders to your participation.
None
And Mel,
whatsoever.
what else do we have to share?
Yeah, I was actually shocked to hear that our youngest participant is 6 years old and our oldest participant, 78. Cancer touches everyone, and it's just amazing to see the age range of people participating this year. And I'm just so pleased to see that. I also am pleased to say that we actually have dog registered participants. I don't know if you guys saw in our social feed, we featured Bogart, who's part of Team Simicor. And other dogs we found out along the way are also joining and will be walking with us this year. I know last year people came out with their dogs walking, but this year the dogs are actually registering and raising money for this important cause. So that was just incredible to see as well. And then I'd also just love to share that the schools, even though schools are out, schools are participating and they're doing well. I think the fundraising's coming in, and we have a top school champion. I believe his name's Brady Stock.
Brady Stock,
Yeah, Brady Stock. And he's raised $1,700 to date. And I know that he actually has aspirations to pursue a career in oncology, which is great. And I'm sure that Brady has a lot of friends that he's rallying and bringing together to raise more money along with other school friends. And just so great to see the school participation. And I just wanted to add in there, before I joined in on the Facebook Live and YouTube Live here, I was listening to our Spotify playlist. I was so excited to hear that the Weekend to Conquer Cancer had a Spotify playlist, and the music, every single song is perfect to walk and run to. So if you guys who are watching tonight have not checked this out, please do, and start, practicing your walks and your runs. And I'm sure you're going out every day anyways, but, take a listen to this playlist. It's incredible. It's really inspiring music.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Isn't that your favorite song, Melissa?
Well, it was the first song on the playlist, and it was September, and how ironic, September is when our event is, so it's quite apropos.
Right on. So we had a question come in about how the Princess Margaret Cancer Center will use the proceeds of I think we have on our website a listing of how some of the funds will be used. And I'm hoping that everybody on the call today understands that when you register, one of the unique features with the Weekend to Conquer Cancer is that you can select the specific area of cancer research that you want to support. So if you have had someone in your family or in your world that maybe had breast cancer or brain cancer, or as I mentioned earlier, we have the psychosocial oncology program, you can fundraise for those specific areas. And then when the money comes in, we sort of put them in pots and then we allocate the funds to those specific areas. So it's a great opportunity to support the cancer that's near and dear to your heart. So I wanted to make sure we covered that off.
Absolutely.
What's next here, Mel?
Yeah, we had some other questions that came in this week. In social, we put out there, if you have any questions, to submit them in advance. And I think we have a few listed here just to answer, because I think it's probably some answers that other people were hoping we'd cover in today's session. So the first one I have here is, will there be in-person elements to this year's event, or is it all going to be virtual? And I think it's an exciting announcement, Steve, that we are actually going to have in-person elements to this year's event. While there is 100% virtual opportunities, and many of our participants are still choosing to do the walk on their way, we are excited to announce that we will be having in-person activations in our Metro Toronto routes. And more details will be shared throughout tonight's session, but just want to share that the in-person activations we're calling weekend pit stops. And the weekend pit stops are supporting participants kind of on their path. And it's not necessarily a start or a finish, but rather somewhere you can stop by on our recommended routes to have that enhanced experience, to have the refreshments, the restrooms, have a little bit of music playing in the background, like our Spotify playlists, perhaps, and then some other surprise and delight items, each one really providing a little bit of something special for those walkers who choose to walk on the paths that include the pit stops.
And Mel, are we going to be able to have one of these pit stops for that participant in Florida?
Sure, I can go down and help them. My dad's actually down in Florida. Maybe he's the one who's registered. I should look that up. Absolutely. Another question that did come in was, where are these activations going to be? So I know when Bas covers the routes, he'll talk a little bit more about that, but we do have 4 pit stops. We'll definitely have one at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center. We know that's a very popular spot for so many of our participants. They want to be close to the Cancer Center. So we will be having one for sure right out there. And then 3 other stops really along the lakeshore, east, central, and west in Metro Toronto. Those people who are walking outside of the GTA, outside of the province, outside of the country, there are other ways that we're going to be able to support you as it relates to like ideas on how to really enhance your experience for the weekend. And there'll be more details to come on that. The next question we had was, what will the experience be like? And I already covered that. And then, really just to reassure people that these pit stops are not too far apart from each other. So if you did stop at one and you forgot to get that drink, know that if you choose a route, most of the routes, and I know Bas will cover this, most of the routes will allow you to, not too far off, go to the next pit stop and get that cold drink. Steve, did you want to cover off a couple of the others?
Well, and I'm going to just add in there, Mel, is that, for those who are watching on YouTube or Facebook, if you have something you want to see at the pit stops, there's no guarantees, but, maybe you want coffee, maybe you want a cappuccino. I can't say we're going to be able to give out martinis or anything like that, but if you're interested in something, put it in the chat on Facebook, and we'll do our best. Again, no promises.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, well, I know, we have to make sure that we want to listen and understand what people are looking for. I think we've got it covered off, but we always want to understand what the participants want as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people ask about the safety of the event. Safety is always our number one concern, whether we're running a massive in-person event or we're running this virtual event with these weekend pit stops. We've got a new medical team involved this year, Odyssey Medical. And we are going to be ensuring that every single one of our staff, volunteers, they're all going to be vaccinated. They're all going to be wearing masks. There's going to be all the proper COVID protocols at these pit stops. And in fact, we're also going to be having a QR code to make sure that everyone who comes into our pit stops, pass the test. So safety is actually our number one priority in all of our events. And we're going to make sure that these are safe and comfortable for everybody.
Absolutely. On the COVID front and the protocols, we really working with Odyssey Medical has just been so great, and they are really teaching us a lot about making sure that we keep people as safe and secure as possible. I think that's so incredible. There was a question that came in around what happens if the weather's bad, and I'm guessing bad at this time of year means rain. But maybe for some people it means sun. I don't know, but it's the safety of all of our participants is so important, and we do have contingency plans in place for extreme weather conditions. For thunderstorms, we just ask that people keep cover or take cover. But we will have people available if you do come to the pit stops. People around to help you and assist you to make sure that you are always kept safe, which is so important. And then we also had a question about what should I bring on my walk? And, some of the things that the team and I were talking about, and from past events, from participants and some of their recommendations, water, a light snack, even though if you're on our pit stops, we'll be providing it. It's really for those who aren't going to be with us along our routes to really think about, bring that water bottle, bring a light snack, have a fully charged cell phone so that you can take lots of pictures and post them on social media with our hashtag. Wear a hat if it's really sunny. Sunscreen is really important. And if it's about to rain, if the forecast says it's going to rain, bring that rain poncho or an umbrella. Make sure you wear great walking shoes or running shoes. Maybe some Band-Aids if those running shoes or walking shoes are rubbing a little bit. Make sure those Band-Aids are there. And don't forget to wear that weekend t-shirt. I'm wearing my weekend t-shirt, and I'll be sure to sport it on that weekend as well. And we'll be sending, and I know Dave's going to talk about it later, as will Susie, but the accreditation with your lanyard and your badges. Make sure you wear it proud to show that you are walking for the weekend.
Yeah, and Mel, the Band-Aids, for those people who are doing an epic run or an epic ride, like or sorry, a walk, and they're going really, really far. Make sure you bring those Band-Aids or maybe a little Vaseline or something. In the earlier days of the Weekend to Conquer Cancer, when people were walking like 30 kilometers at a time, the blisters that we saw were incredible. And so we highly recommend some Band-Aids. And the very good point that Mel brought up was bring your rain poncho, because if you don't bring it, it's going to rain. If you bring it, even if they're calling for rain, there's a good chance it won't rain, right? It always happens that way.
That is so true.
Yeah, 100%. So with that, now we're going to hand it over to Bas de Beer, who is our route planner. So Bas, let's get you up on the screen and you can talk a little bit about all the routes that we have for our participants.
Thanks so much, Steve. Very nice, warm introduction. My name is Bas. I've been working for the Weekend to Conquer Cancer for these past 10 years. So all of the routes that you've been walking, I've been in charge of creating. Now, I do have to touch on the packing list. If there's one thing you cannot forget, and obviously it ties in with Band-Aids, but it's moleskin. The amount of moleskin that we've packed into our medical bins, you would not believe it. So make sure you have a bit of moleskin on you, and we'll make sure to have them available as well at the pit stops. Now, over into the questions for these awesome routes that we've put together. First question was, what is the route for this event? And are there multiple routes with different distances? So we plan to have all of those routes finalized by this week. And majority of those routes will be along the Martin Goodman Trail, kind of parallel to Lakeshore, which is all happening kind of like within the downtown core of Toronto. And each route will include a stop at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center where you could rehydrate and get pumped up to continue your walk. And once announced, you also see a link to each route on our Weekend to Conquer Cancer Strava Club. The next question, when and where will the routes be posted to ensure we'll walk the correct routes for the pit stops? We're going to be posting those routes at the end of August on our Strava Club and on our website. So just make sure that you're signed up for our Strava Club. You might ask, what is Strava? Strava is actually a social fitness app for tracking and analyzing exercise through the GPS tracker that is on your phone. It also incorporates social networking and sharing features. So you could basically record any activity and it goes to your Strava feed where your friends and followers can share their own walks and runs, give kudos on great performances, and leave comments on each other's activities. So you really should see it as the Facebook of Strava. How do I sign up for Strava? Now that's the easiest thing because it's free registration. The link is available on our website. I think the link will be popping up in our chat as well. We recommend that you use the link that we give you because it will link directly to our Strava Club where we'll be making all those updates. And by the way, you can also link your Strava page to your Weekend Participant Center through your Participant Center. So just make sure you do that because you can track all your activity. You can really show all of those potential donors, all of the training that you've been doing in anticipation of this walk, which is really neat and really cool. And obviously set a goal. Do I have to walk or run the recommended routes that we offer? Or can I walk where I want to? Now, you could really walk or run wherever you would like, but we highly recommend that you do join us in Toronto for an enhanced experience that we're planning on offering you in September. And make sure to visit all of those pit stops that we're going to be offering. But in addition to that, we do have recommended routes outside of Toronto. We have over 25 suggested routes that we're going to be offering you. And it's not just all one distance. We have a wide variety of distances from 5 to 25 kilometers. And in terms of the routes, we're going to kick it back old school with some really cool classic original routes that we've done in the past to some newer recent routes that we've put out there, as well as some additional training walks that we've used as incredible, obviously, preparation for the event itself. So that's all going to come on our Strava club page. So be sure to wait for that. Last question about routes. How long will it take me to walk the event? Or does it even matter? Now, it doesn't because there's no time restrictions. We're not going to be timing you. You can walk at your own pace and at your own leisure and any distance of your choosing. So going back to our suggested routes, we really give you a wide variety. But if you walk 2 kilometers or 5 kilometers, it really doesn't matter. It's up to your own comfort level and obviously how you feel on the day. I'm going to throw it back to Steve and Melissa for a little bit more of the weekend logistics.
Thanks, Bass. And those are, we've got some great routes on there. And I have a few friends that said, hey, Steve, you know what? I'm signed up, but I can't actually walk on September 11th, 12th weekend. What should I do? And I said, you know what? You can walk anytime. If you wanted to walk the week before or the weekend before, you know what? But do your walk. Tell your donors, tell your supporters, and then post your walk to social media, whether you're using Strava, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, do it all. Like, tell everybody what you're doing, like, spread the word. And we do, the event, whether you're walking or running 1 kilometer or 30 kilometers, if you have the ability to go big, it also gives you the ability to ask big to your donors. So, so stretch yourself a little bit and let your donors know what you're doing, and they'll support you accordingly. The one question came in about, what time does this event start? And back to Bass's point, there's really no start time or finish time, but we can tell you that our pit stops are open from 8:30 a.m. until about 3 p.m. So it does give a chance for people, the slower people. You could hit all of our pit stops if you start out for wherever you start, and you could hit them all easily between 8:30 and 3 p.m. And they'll be open on both Saturday and Sunday. So so you can absolutely do the 2-day walk, or if you just prefer to do 1 day, we're going to be there to support you. Next question there, Mel. Oh, you're on mute, Mel. We have to have at least
sorry
one,
about that.
We have to have at least one on mute. Like, it wouldn't
Goodness
be
gracious.
a proper webinar without at least one mute. So
Yeah, I apologize for that. I just want to go back to what Bass was saying about those old school walks. I'm going to go check them out and use them as part of my training. And then maybe even on Friday night of the weekend, I'm going to go do one of those routes. So love that we're going to have so many options to choose from. Thank you, Bass. There was a question that came in around whether or not we're going to be doing an opening and closing ceremony this year. Now, we will be doing an opening ceremony on Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. So we'll be doing that live, and it will be on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And I know for sure Steve and I will be there, but I'm sure the team and many others will have some special guests coming in. And we're really excited about that opening ceremonies. I know that in the past, there have been some stellar ceremonies that we're going to build off of, and some exciting, features so that you can really set off your walk well on Saturday and Sunday. As for a closing ceremony, we're not going to do an official closing ceremony, but we will be doing a wrap up. So Sunday evening, we'll be doing a social wrap up that really features all the amazing participants, any photos and stories that came in, any videos perhaps that may have been shared, and do a really nice compilation of the highlights from the weekend. And ask for each and every one of you to be a part of that. So look forward to seeing everybody's submissions and being a part of our weekend wrap up.
yeah, and so that's why we need you to post on social like never before. We want to be trending, #1, not just in Toronto, not just in Canada, but the entire world. We need to spread our message far and wide. So make sure you share, and then we are going to reshare that in our sort of compilation video at the end of Sunday. The next question that came in, can I create or join a team? Absolutely. If you're a solo walker right now and you wanted to start a team, hey, start recruiting. If you have any questions, you can always call our walk office and they can help you navigate how to start a team. If you're looking to join a team because you're kind of on your own and you wanted to join a group who might be walking together, you can call the office. They might know of some teams that are looking to have some walkers join their team. Or even go to our Facebook page and explain why you'd like to join a team and why you're walking and why you're supporting the great work here at Princess Margaret. So absolutely, you can create or join a team. Next question here. Do we have any props or materials available to promote your involvement? Well, like I just said, social media is the #1 prop you can use. But if you haven't seen some of our emails and social posts, we have our Weekend to Conquer Cancer lawn signs, and I have an example of the lawn sign over my shoulder here, and I have one out on my front lawn as well. And I can tell you, when I put my lawn sign up when we first distributed them, one of my neighbors was walking the dog, walking by, and he said, "Hey, what's that all about?" And I said, "Hey, we're participating in the Weekend to Conquer Cancer, and he said, well, I'd like to support that, and I got a donation out of it, right? So we have all the information on how to get a lawn sign is on our website. We do have the Pickle Barrel, who's a great partner of ours. They have them available for pickup. What else here? All items in the Weekend Ready, all the other items. I think I've seen a lot of posts on the Facebook chat. We're going to be mailing out the Weekend Ready kits to all the riders with all your credentials and all of the perks that you've earned through your fundraising.
Yeah, and there's some great stuff, Steve, also online for people to download PDFs of different images they could post in their windows at home. They can get creative and do whatever they want, but there's lots of great tools in our toolbox available for all participants to access online for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was another question that came in on whether or not people can register and how long do they have to register. And as I understand it, you can register all the way up to the event and fundraise well into October. So I think that's great. I mean, ideally, everyone obviously participating today, ideally they've already registered, but if they haven't, I encourage people to register sooner than later, which gives them more time to spread the word, engage their networks and their communities around getting behind them and joining them in this this great cause and this great event. So they have up until the event well into October to fundraise, but again, encourage the sooner the better. Great. I think that was it for some of the questions that were sent in advance. And I know we're going to have Dave join us now to talk about some of the fundraising Walker recognition initiatives and the program that we have. So over to you, Dave.
Thank you so much, Mel. Honored to be here. My name is David Gilchrist. I'm one of the managers here at the Weekend to Conquer Cancer, and I'm pleased to share with you some of our participant recognition program items. Yeah, these are some fantastic items that all of you can earn quite easily just by fundraising a little bit each and every day. So one of the questions was, what are the different incentives for fundraising? So we are pleased to let you know that we have a plethora of swag that you can earn with each fundraising milestone you reach. So as part of our Path to Perks incentive program, simply you can raise $50 or more, and that will earn you our Weekend Connected by RY participant t-shirt, which I am sharing with all of you today and on this session. And also by raising $300, $750, or $1,500, you will be rewarded with an e-gift card of $20, $40, and $60 respectively to any recipe-inspired restaurant or online Amazon order, which is phenomenal. And of course, if you don't want to keep those e-gift cards, you're more than welcome to donate them back to the foundation or perhaps use them as an incentive prize for your team. So lots of ways to take advantage of that particular incentive. And as part of our Groundbreakers incentive program, when you raise $2,000, you'll get an official Connected by RY Windbreaker jacket, as well as a gift from Colio Estates Wines. So maybe you won't need that poncho after all if you raise that amount of money. And lastly, become a Weekend Trailblazer by raising $3,000, and you'll earn an awesome technical backpack. I've been fortunate enough to see one in person. It is really cool and it has so many features. It's the most technical backpack I've ever seen. And as well, you'll earn a personal thank you recognition on the event weekend that we know you are going to want to come out and see for yourself. So it's a big surprise. We'll save it for event weekend, or maybe we'll tell a little bit more about it beforehand, but certainly you'll be impressed, and we would be honored to share that with you. And then the last question I believe we have, what do the incentives look like for the different fundraising milestones? So actually that question you can see right here on your screen. They're on point, on brand, and a great way to show your support. And we know you're going to love them. And apologies, one more question, or a couple more questions. It just keeps coming in. That's great news. So how do I get my event swag and fundraising incentives? So we will have pickup depots at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center from August 31st until September 2nd at Yorkdale corporate offices on August 31st, and at Scarborough Town Center on September 2nd. When you complete online check-in, the pickup depot is assigned to you based on your postal code. So if you fall outside of the pickup area, which is a reasonable distance to travel, your package will be sent to you in the mail. And how long do you have to fundraise? Well, you can fundraise up until November 1st. And if you hit a fundraising milestone after event weekend, you can certainly still get your incentives. So if you've earned any rewards, you can expect to receive them before November 30th, 2021. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to us. And that email address is weekend@thepmcf.ca, or call us at 416-946-2031. And do you have any fundraising ideas? Another great question. So there are countless ways to raise money. For example, some of our participants are selling masks that they've made and sold them to raise money for their participant page. And also another participant is selling old items on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace and donating the money they make back to the area of cancer research they've chosen to support. So some great questions. And I think with that being said, I'll pass it over to Susie for some more online check-in details.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dave. Don't we have some fantastic swag this year? I'm super excited to get my own windbreaker. I've already earned that one myself and working towards that backpack. So online check-in, I saw Pauline in the chat has asked about this. So we will be opening online check-in on August 16th, and we'll need you to complete that by August 31st. So why online check-in? What is it? What does it help us do? So the whole point of online check-in is really to help us plan and be smart about getting your kits ready in time for the event. This also helps to help us arrange issuing your event credentials. It helps us for route planning and support, and helps us in distribution of the incentives and rewards. So, I've mentioned it helps us with credentials. So we will be passing out weekend ready kits, and I think it was Gail in the chat asked do we get these if we're out of town? Absolutely. So please, we do need you to fill in online check-in when it becomes available, so that we can get these weekend ready kits to you if you are out of town, especially. So each weekend ready kit includes a cheer sign, a custom participant bib. It includes your identification badge and lanyard, and also includes some sponsored giveaways, as well as any incentives that you've earned that need to be distributed. So on the flip side of that, what happens if I don't fill in online check-in? Well, then we don't know where to send your stuff to. We don't know how to get it to you. We don't know how much you think you're going to raise. Right now, personally, I'm sitting at about $2,400 raised, but I really want that backpack. So during online check-in, I can go on and I can set up a delayed self-pledge to make me get to that $3,000. And, oh, can you guys hear me okay? Sorry, and now my dog's barking. But yeah, so we need you guys to fill in online check-in, give us your details, and then also let us know which pickup depot you're going to select. So we have 3 pickup depot locations, as Dave mentioned. One is at Yorkdale Shopping Center, one will be at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center, and one will be at Scarborough Town Center. So we'll need you to let us know where you'll be doing that pickup. And for people like Gail, who asked, I'm out of town, don't worry, we will work with you to mail things to those that are outside of our distribution area. But of course, if you are close and able to pick us up, it does help us save money. And it's also really nice to see you guys in person to come and pick those items up too. The other benefit of it, if you come and pick up in person, is we will have some surprise giveaways on site. So you'll want to come and see what those surprise giveaways are. There are some much loved items that we will be giving out and some wonderful surprises. So, but if you're not able to come, please do reach out to us directly. We will work with you to make sure that you get everything that you need. And yeah, as I say, if you have any more questions about any of the items or pickup depots or online check-in, go ahead and put those in the chat and we will get to them at the end of this session. But you can also, if you're not able to pick up yourself, you can give a teammate, family member, friend permission on your behalf to pick up those items for you. So do make sure that you go and let someone go and pick it up for you, or pick it up yourself. And now I'm going to hand it back to Steve, and he's going to talk about next year's event and re-registration. So hand it back over to you, Steve. Thanks.
I'm on mute. I got busted. I was on mute. Sorry, because I got muted during that. Anyways, here I am. Susie, did you just nod your head? Did you talk about re-reg during OCI?
I didn't mention, but yes.
Okay, so that is a crucial part of when you're doing online check-in. You're going to have the opportunity to sign up for $20 for, of course, the 20th anniversary of the Weekend to Conquer Cancer. And folks, we need you back. We need you back for so many reasons, right? First of all, something for me, I want to see everybody. I want to see all 3, 4, 5,000 people together, gathering as a massive community to help conquer cancer in our lifetime. If you're, I feel like the human species are generally social creatures, and we have been so limited in our ability to congregate and socialize. And I'm very hopeful, fingers crossed, that we have COVID in the rearview mirror next year in September, and we can host a massive in-person event. And our 20th anniversary event is going to be special because we're going to be able to see each other, hug each other, cry with each other, commiserate with each other, and celebrate with each other. It's going to be our 20th anniversary, so that's why the price to sign up next year is $20. So when you are doing your online check-in, I'm hoping that you do sign up for $20 because we want you back. So there's that reason, of course, is that we want to see everybody come together. But the other reason is that we're making progress. We are making a difference. Mio shared earlier that 1 in 2 Canadians will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. And the sad stat, like 60 years ago, was that the majority of those people did not make it past even 2 or 3 years. But the stats now are in our favor. If you're diagnosed with cancer now, there's a good chance that you will, well, there's a better chance, a much better chance that you will live past the 5-year term of that's the, I know when my wife was diagnosed with cancer, if you got past 5 years of being cancer free, then you have a really good chance of getting much beyond that. So we are making progress. I think testicular cancer, prostate cancer, in the past 15 years, we've made so much progress. Now the survival rates for those types of cancers are in the high 90s. For all breast cancers, there's still some very tricky breast cancers out there. It's like 87% survival rate, whereas back 40, 50 years ago, it was like 30%. So we're making progress, but there's still very tricky cancers out there, like pancreatic cancer and brain cancer. And there's so many tough cancers that people are dealing with every single day. So we need you to come back. We need you to fundraise. We need you to support the great work at Princess Margaret. That's why we need you back for the 20th anniversary. There's so many reasons why we need you. So to make it kind of fun, if you do sign up for the $20 early bird registration fee and self-donate $100, you're going to get entered into a draw. And the draw could win you 4 tickets, Air Canada, anywhere in North America, including Mexico, the Caribbean, and Hawaii. Wouldn't it be cool to have you and your 3 friends go to Hawaii to celebrate conquering cancer in our lifetime? So sign up, self-donate $100, and you're going to have the opportunity to experience a wonderful 20th anniversary Weekend to Conquer Cancer next September. I think that covers it all in terms of the re-registration. And now we're going to go to some Q&A, and it looks like we've got a few. The first one, I want to make sure we haven't answered already, from Sandeep. Where do I get more information and stay up to date on event details? Be sure to check our event website for the most up-to-date information, as well as follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, Twitter. Here's another question. Lunches for Saturday and Sunday. Will there be a hot meal somewhere? Maybe, hey, Bas, can you have the answer to that one?
I always have answers to any questions that people ask. And if not, I'll find the answer for you. And to answer this question, we'll make sure that we have some delights at those pit stops, whether that be an espresso, whether that be a croissant. We're going to switch it up a bit this year, right? We want to provide you with an elevated experience. So in order to do so, we're going to think outside the box here. So we're going to make sure that we satisfy those needs and obviously maybe have like a nice little sweet treat that will boost your walking over the weekend.
Yeah, actually, we have a new partner who's joining us at our Princess Margaret pit stop, and that's Starbucks. We're so excited that they're going to be joining us this year with some snacks and some hot and cold beverages. So it was really nice to bring them on board this year.
And I just read in the chat that one of the teams, they're planning their own route, and they're going to be stopping in and support local businesses in their community, which is what a great idea that is. So that was from Nadia, who's a longtime supporter and cancer survivor also. So great idea. Bass, and another, the question came in, are we going to have gluten-free snacks at
Absolutely.
the pit stops? Yep.
Yes. So what we try to take care of is any dietary restrictions. So gluten-free, nut-free. We'll ensure that we have all of those covered off with the collection of snacks that we offer, for sure.
Yeah, we had a question. Sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead, Mel.
No, I was going to say we had a question from Cindy wanting to know, where if she has any questions. I know we've said it a few times, but we do have awesome walk coaches that can answer any questions at any time. Our social media community, we're monitoring it literally by the minute every day. So any questions you have, if you don't already have a connection with someone at Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation and on the weekend team, please make sure you reach out. Don't hesitate. We have so many ways for you to stay connected with us.
The next thing was, it's more of a I think a comment. How about Raptors and/or Jays mascots at the pit stops? Hey, great idea. We're going to see. In fact, here's a cool fact: is that one of the staff at the Princess Margaret Foundation, he has a side hustle, and he's involved with the MLSE group. So who knows? Maybe we will be able to get a mascot out there, and of course, not high-fiving, but maybe elbow bumping everybody at the pit stop. So we're going to do our best to really jazz up those pit stops and create that sense of community that people are longing for.
Absolutely.
Next question.
There was a question there. No, it's okay, Steve. Sorry. I noticed there was a question there. Michelle was asking if we're going to be hosting any more Q&A sessions or walk ready events. And at this point, we don't have any plan, but if the demand is there, absolutely, we'll host more of these, because the more information we can get you, the better informed you are, and you feel like you're ready, literally walk ready for the weekend.
Talking about walk ready, somebody asked if they can buy extra t-shirts. So that's a good question. In fact, haven't thought of that. We did order a certain number of shirts, and as I said earlier, the registrations are coming in fast and furious. So I'm hoping that we sell out of our t-shirts just based on the number of registrations that we have. But if we don't hit our target, then I'm sure we'll have some extra shirts that we can sell to our participants. Oh, Susie says they can for do you want to answer that one, Susie?
Yeah, sure. I was just saying you definitely could buy a t-shirt if you register and self-pledge $50 to yourself, which is essentially buying it. And then every dollar also goes to the cause, and you get a tax receipt. So yes, go ahead. Anyone else that wants to earn a t-shirt, have them register, join your team, make a self-donation of $50, and they'll get their own t-shirt.
Kind of a no-brainer, right?
We try.
Kind of a no-brainer. Thanks for reminding me of that one, Susie. Last question here. Lanyards and ID, will they be available for out-of-towners? I think we already answered that question. So we're going to be sending out all the credentials to everyone in the mail who are not in town to pick up their kits.
Yeah, I think that was it for questions. Oh, there was one more there. Noor is wondering what social media hashtag she should use. And the answer to that is hashtag weekend to conquer. And it's easy to use. It's weekend. Yeah. Like Steve just did. Hashtag weekend to conquer. All lowercase. If you know how to use hashtags, please use it everywhere. And that way we can make sure that we get everybody's photos, everybody's posts aggregated into our community. And you can go there now and you can see all the amazing stories and posts that people have put up in social. Great. Any more questions? I don't know if we have any more.
I think we've answered them all. We were so efficient, Mel.
Awesome.
And Susie and Bass and Dave. So awesome. Well, I think we're going to, unless there's anything else, I still see a few things coming up on the chat. But oh, Nadia gave me some hearts. So thanks everybody for tuning in today and learning a little bit more about what our Weekend to Conquer Cancer program is going to look like this year. Thank you so much for your patience and working with us and continuing to support us. You know, last year when COVID struck, we saw a massive decline in our registrations and in our fundraising through our event program, and it was a tough situation for all of my colleagues in the events world, and especially when our researchers are leaning on us so heavily to support their work. In fact, I get calls sometimes from researchers to ask us, "Hey, how's the fundraising coming along?" Because they count on this money. And with you know, unfortunately with COVID, I think a lot of people didn't go in to get their regular checkups this past year, and so I'm fearful, and I know you may have read this also, that a lot of oncologists are fearful that their patients are walking around with undetected cancer, and when they finally do go in for their checkup, they're going to have a later stage diagnosis, which, you know, as you probably know, the later stage it is, the more trickier it can be. So we need to continue to double down on our efforts to fundraise for cancer research to support all the people who, you know, unfortunately will be diagnosed in the next year or two. So thanks again, everybody, for taking on our cause, taking on our mission to conquer cancer in a lifetime. I look forward to seeing a lot of you on the weekend, because I'm going to be hitting every pit stop on both days, and I want to elbow bump as many people as I possibly can. So on behalf of the team, Mio, Melissa, Susie, Bass, and Dave, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next month. Cheers.